Hey guys, are you guys tired of using capture cards to dual PC stream? Today I'm going to show you how you can use OBS NDI to avoid the problems that come with duplicating monitors, capture cards, frame rate loss, input lag, and screen tearing. I know every time I start my PCs, I have a checklist I go through to make sure everything is going to work when I go live. This information will hopefully eliminate almost all of that. I know every time I start my PCs, I have to make sure I start my stream PC after I start my gaming PC. If not, my gaming PC won't even boot. I've been waiting for something like this to come for years. I've seen about NDI, several videos. I always knew that NDI could be great, but now, thanks to OBS NDI plugin, we can actually use it too. And it's pretty much just as good, if not actually better, than using a capture card. I want to give a huge shout out to Freethy for initially sharing this information. I just found his information like a day ago, and I've been trying it for about a day now, testing it. And I have to say, it is unbelievable, but I didn't take his word for it initially. I wanted to do some testing, but now I'm going to say take Freethy's word for it. Below I have his video linked along with the GitHub links to the OBS NDI plugins. Okay, so now you're going to have to download OBS on both your gaming PC and your streaming PC. Go to Google and search OBS, or go to obsproject.com and you can download OBS for Windows, Mac, or Linux. After you have downloaded and installed OBS, go to the GitHub link in the description. Okay, so if you follow that link, you'll go into the GitHub and you can download the OBS NDI plugins. Now there's a link for each operating system. You scroll down a little bit and here's the install OBS NDI for Linux, Mac, and Windows. And then you scroll down a little bit farther, you got the install NDI 5 runtime for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Now you will need to install this on both your gaming PC and your streaming PC. So once we get done setting everything up, your OBS is going to look something like this. That's all depending on your preferences. This is going to be a minimalistic OBS. We want it using as little resources as possible. That's on your gaming PC, of course. We will start with the View tab. We'll go up here and uncheck everything that's here. And then we'll go over to Docs and we'll check Scenes, we'll check Sources, we'll check Audio Mixer, we'll check Stats. Audio Mixer will be something that not everybody is going to need. Some people will use a Go XLR or something like that, and they won't need to use the Audio Mixer. I'm going to be sourcing it through the NDI. So I'm going to use the audio mixer so I can monitor it over here if I need to turn it up, turn it down before it goes over to my gaming PC, which I shouldn't really have to. I may be able to remove that altogether. But I'm going to be using that through the LAN network, so it's not going to be taxing my internet at all. In my case, my microphone is hooked up to my streaming PC, and I'm using an aux cord out of my stream PC going into my microphone input on my gaming PC. Sorry. And I have a ground loop isolator on there. So to get my mic back into my gaming PC, that's how I do it. Everyone will have a different situation with their mic, specifically if you're using a headset with like a Bluetooth mic or something, then you're going to have challenges there. Okay, on to settings. Now that we have turned everything off in the View tab, you have to go to File and go to Settings. Okay, so we're going to go to the Advanced tab for starters. And we're going to come down here and we're not going to use the stream delay and we're not going to automatically reconnect. We're going to enable browser sources hardware acceleration. We're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to uncheck that. Then we're going to go down here to hotkeys and we're going to disable hotkeys when main window is not in focus. Okay, and then we're going to skip accessibility, skip hotkeys, go to video. In my case, my base canvas is going to be 1920 by 1080 and my output scale is going to be 1920 by 1080. My frame rate is going to be set at 60. This is very important. Let's set that at 60. Going higher is not going to help you and going lower is not going to help you. 60 is where you're going to need it. Now if you have 1440p or 4K or whatever, you need to set your base canvas to that. If that's what you're playing at, that's what you need to set it at. You need to copy that, okay? Now we're going to go to audio. Now here is where you're going to set your audio output. Now in my case, I'm going to be using the pass-through through NDI. So I am setting it to my Elgato's sound capture, which is an application that I use for controlling my sound. And in the case that you have a Go XLR, you're going to want to disable all of these so that way you have no outputs. We're going to skip output because we are not streaming from this OBS. We're going to skip stream from, because we're not streaming or recording from this OBS. We're just sending a signal, essentially. Now, I'm going to check update because my OBS kind of like still has a little bit of issues on startup. It wants to say start in safe mode whenever like I literally have nothing on here, so there's no reason why it should have to start up in safe mode. So I'm waiting for the next update to see. And then we're going to come down here to source alignment. We don't want nothing checked here. System tray, we're going to enable and minimize to system tray when started. That way, whenever we start the OBS, reboot our computer, it goes straight down to the system tray. It's already running, ready to go, sending an image over to our stream. Okay, so that's it on the settings. Okay, so remember, we're still on our gaming PC. I'm going to enable the preview, and in this case, I've tried to record this like 3 times and I keep on turning off the display, so if I do that, I just get a black screen, and that's what happens. So I'm going to go through the motions, but in this case now we do not have the view tab. We've turned off all this stuff, so we're gonna have to right click and hit add, and then go to OK. I'm not adding it, so that'll be my scene right there. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to add a display capture and a game capture. So we're going to have to right click and add game capture, and then once we add the game capture, properties are going to come up. You want to hit limit capture frame rate. You want to check that because we've already set our frame rate in the settings tab, so we don't need this working any harder than it already is. It'll save resources. If you have any overlays that you use in game, Steam, NVIDIA, or like I use GitHub, that you want to use in game and show on Steam, then you're gonna have to capture third-party overlays and hit that. Now we're gonna go down here and we're gonna add a display capture. So we're gonna go back up here and we're gonna add display capture. Here's our display capture, and we're gonna go in here and we're gonna make sure that this is our primary monitor, okay? And then if you want your capture cursor, then you have to check that. And then that's set. We have our scene, our sources set for going over to our streaming PC. Now before I move on, you may ask yourself, well, why do I use Game Capture? Freaky tested this, and you will lose 100 FPS if you use display capture in a GPU bound scenario. The max you will lose with Game Capture is about 20 frames per second. He has a video covering the testing on his page. I'm not going to go into it much more than that, but check Freaky's video out. Alright, so now we're going to open up in the video control panel, and we're going to go over to our Manage 3D settings and click on that, and we're going to scroll down. We're going to find Vertical Sync. Now we want to use the Manage 3D application settings. I choose to do this because I do not use vertical sync in my games. I don't like VSync. So what VSync does, if you don't understand, is it locks your frame rate to your monitor's refresh rate. An example, if you have a 120 Hertz monitor, you will be locked at 120 frames per second. I do not use VSync, but I allow global settings to allow my application or game control VSync. But for this, I make sure I enable VSync on my OBS program settings so that I prevent screen tearing. Screen tearing is the reason why we're enabling this. So we go in here and we either find it in our list and we add it, or we just add it. And then we scroll down, we find vertical sync, and we turn it on. This is a very important step. You must do this. This prevents screen tearing. That's one of the big reasons why we're getting away from the capture card. Okay, so now we're going to go over to our streaming PC, and you should have the 2 NDI plugins installed on your streaming PC that you installed on your gaming PC. Now we're going to go to sources, and we're going to right click, and we're going to hit add, and we're going to go down and find NDI source, and we're going to click that and hit OK. You can rename it if you like, and then whenever you hit OK, property is going to come up. That's incorrect. Property is going to come up, and this source name will be blank. So you're going to click that, and whatever you named it on your gaming PC, that name should be here. So PC, OBS, Game PC. I hit that, and then I hit OK. And then we're back to our gaming PC. So now we are streaming over across our LAN to our streaming PC. That's pretty cool. Congratulations. Now that we're back on our gaming PC, we can check our task manager and see how much bandwidth we're using. So let's check up here, 133.4 megabits per second. Well, that's pretty high. Dang, that's gonna tax my internet. No, it's not. This is local LAN bandwidth. So this is your router in your home, and it is your home network. So it is not going to affect your internet speed by any means at all. Now we're going to go back into OBS, and we're going to make sure that we disable our preview. That eats up a ton of resources that we don't need to leave out there. So we're going to disable that, and it'll be better, I promise. So now you might be wondering, oh man, well, what happens whenever I want to show my game? Well, the way you can do this is you can set up two scenes, and you can put display in one and game in one, and then you can set it to a hotkey, which kind of takes back a few of the steps that we've done. Or another thing you can do is, what I like to do is I just like to come up here and hit the eyeball here, and that disables it, so now you're seeing a black screen. And then whenever I hit it to come back, then my display is back up. So that is something that could be a little bit of a nuisance, but if it's really a big deal, then you can always just set up a scene and set a hotkey to like 1 and 2 on your number key or something like that. Okay, so now we're going to go back over to the stream PC, and I want to talk about audio a little bit. So in my case, I am not going to have any audio issues, but there are some people who do have audio issues. I'm letting my audio pass through the NDI through the LAN network, but there can be a delay or lag using mixers like GoXLRs, and Freethy has touched on in his video using the Stream Geek audio video sync test. He has more details on this at the end of his video if you need to line up your audio. Once again, the link is in the description. I'm not going to touch on this much more. It's not something that I have to deal with right now. I may have to in the future. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that route or not, but we will see. Alright, so there it is, guys. You're all set up. If you're unsure and want to do some testing, you can use it alongside your capture card. Just go into the NVIDIA control panel settings and stop duplicating your capture card. Move it to the corner of your main monitor so that way you don't lose your mouse. Then you can test knowing that your capture card is out of the picture. Make sure that you just disable the capture card source in OBS. I actually disconnected and pulled my whole capture card out today, and I've recorded this whole video and did a stream earlier today without the capture card at all, and everything looked flawless. I watched the whole 30-minute stream back, and in monitoring everything like that, zero frame loss on either end, from my gaming PC to my streaming PC, or from my streaming PC to YouTube. Zero frame loss the whole time. So if this video helped you guys out today, and I hope it did, please consider hitting the like or subscribe button, and God bless you. Have a good day.